My peoples, my peoples. Welcome to a brand new episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what we doing out here. Talking boxing, ladies and gentlemen. Toy Mafia in the building. Salute, my brother. We're gonna get this working. You know what we here to do. Now, I think it's very interesting what's about to take place uh, in the 160 division. You know, you have two top level guys in Erislandy's Lara and Janibek. Man, I can't pronounce Janibek's last name just yet, and I don't want to mispronounce it, so I'm gonna just say Janibek, right? They're gonna unify titles, and that leaves me with the question: will Terrence Crawford decide to go down to the 160 division? Bomac said he has 2 to 3 fights left. That would give him enough room to pursue another undisputed crown in another division. He can actually decide to do that. Young Guns, Johnny Beck, Lara, unifying. So is Carlos Adames fighting? We need to know. That's a great question. Because I'm going to tell you, Carlos Adames has one of those belts, and he's about that action. He's about that smoke. Now, I heard that he's injured, but I'm not sure. I don't know if that's a rumor or not. I want to see. I want to see what's next. And I actually, listen, El Caballo Bronco is somebody who I actually have on Facebook. That's somebody who I have on Facebook. And I tag him and I copy him in some of the things that I send out. But I want to know. I want to know what he going to do. Because obviously he got a belt. I actually hit him up. I haven't got a response asking him, if Crawford go down to 160, is there a possibility? Because he got one of the belts in that division. Simple as that. Young Guns, Johnny Beck. And I'll tell you what, Johnny Beck and Lara, that's an interesting fight because I keep thinking that Lara, that he's too old, that's it, this is it for him, this is it. But he keep showing me otherwise. Erislandy's Lara has been one of those fighters who, even after years have passed and he has a lot of fights at that level, you still see him, maintaining himself in good physical condition. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. Me personally, it's like, man, I want to say Johnny Beck is gonna win this fight, and it's always hard to go against Lara because he, like I told y'all, man, he keep proving me wrong consistently. So I don't know, man. Y'all could give me y'all prediction. Erislandy's Lara versus Johnny Beck. Who y'all think is gonna win the fight? Because I'm telling y'all, real talk, I'm struggling with that one, with that prediction. Lara can fight, Johnny Beck can fight, and it's two champions that's gonna be unifying. Simple as that. Two world champions about to unify. Come on now, my peoples. Now, we know that the face of boxing is probably going to be on the lookout. I believe that Terrence Crawford is going to be watching this fight and possibly considering, you know what? Do I want to go take that from them? Will the face of boxing go down to 160 and shoot for undisputed in another division? Are we going to see that? Are we going to see the face of boxing go down to 160? Because that would be another accomplishment. If Terrence Crawford was to go down to 160, that would be insane. Just consider how many divisions he's already a champion in. And he skipped one. He could go back down and become a champion in another division. So, and for those who told me, no, Canelo's the face of boxing. Look, Canelo was the face of boxing. I agree with that. But I got to tell you, he was the face of boxing. Right now, my people's is Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is the guy. Because when 40 plus million people watch, and this is on a worldwide scale, we're talking about Netflix, people watching in Europe, North, South, Central America, Asia, Australia. Come on, my people. They watching all over the world. And they watch that fight. So, yeah, my peoples. This is the reality. The face of boxing is Terrence Crawford. But I believe in this situation, he's gonna be watching this fight and maybe making a decision on whether or not he wants to go down to 160 and become undisputed in another division. You know, make yet more history. Young Guns, do you think people will criticize Bud saying he has easy road to undisputed? Criticize Bud saying he has easy road to undisputed? I mean, listen, haters will always say that. Look at Devin Haney. The same people that will say that about Crawford may not say that about Devin. And Devin, I don't know this for sure. I will have to Google it. But Devin may be the only undisputed champion in history who only had to beat one reigning champion. And the one reigning champion that he beat on his road to undisputed was George Kambosos. And right now, thus far, Kambosos has been a one-hit wonder. He never won a title since. Never got a noteworthy win since. Good fighter. Devin Haney became undisputed versus a good fighter. One champion. You're not asking that about Devin. Yet, you're asking about Terrence Crawford. Why? It's because of the hate. Really, it's all about the hate. It's not about asking the question like, will they criticize? It's about hate because there's people whose road to undisputed is people you never heard or didn't beat champions like that. And you didn't question it. Agent 17, Young Guns, people will always find a way to criticize, but of course, salute my brother. Of course, that's going to be the way no matter what he does. I mean, look, the guy beat the face of boxing to become undisputed. He beat the guy, Young Guns, that you said was going to knock him out. And you still saying it was an easy road to undisputed. I don't know what else to tell you, my G. What else can I really say? Agent 17, getting undisputed is no easy task, no matter what. No matter who you face. Everyone's making it seem like Crawford walking off couch and beat everyone. When it's really he built different. So, right there, my brother, you're speaking facts. And I'm going to tell you why. People who never boxed have no understanding of what it takes to become a world champion. They have no clue. So for those who never boxed, to them, your only good wins are when you beat stars. Hence, some people will tell you, nah, Terrence Crawford only beat Arrow, and he was hurt. Think about that. He only beat Arrow, and Arrow was hurt. But before fighting Arrow, he had already become undisputed. And he had already won a title in that division. But he didn't beat, he accomplished all of these things. Multi-division champion, undisputed, unify. But he ain't beat nobody. Trust me, only somebody who never boxed can have that type of opinion. And it's very easy to show otherwise when you understand what's actually going on out there. When you understand it and you're being honest about it, my peoples, Terrence Crawford has been fighting top-level opponents for the last 10 years. For the last 10 years. He been fighting top level. And I'm saying 10, but it's a little bit over 10 years. He been fighting top level opponent, I think, a little bit over that. And I'm going to show you something, so you can see what I mean by that. Watch this. I'm going over Terence Crawford opponents. I want you to check this out. Young Guns, I personally like to see Bud B, Carlos, and the winner of Janibek Lara to get undisputed. I would love to see Terence Crawford, Carlos Adames fight. Love to see it. Remember, there's that sparring video out there that they spar and they went at it. And at that time, Adames was a lot bigger than Crawford, of course. But I think I like that fight. I like it. Especially for my Dominican brother, my, champion from the Dominican Republic facing Crawford. That'd be crazy. So check it out. This is, I'm looking at, Terence Crawford. Oh, it doesn't show. I'm looking at Terence Crawford's box rec, his resume, right? Matter of fact, let me take that shit off. Take off that background real quick. Let me holler at you, my people. Let me get out the virtual reality joint. Check this out. I'm looking at Terence Crawford's box rec. Look, that's what I'm looking at, right? And I'm going to start reading some names for you. Ricky Burns. His record right now is 36. Well, no. His record when Terence Crawford fought him, 36-2. Ricky Burns is a guy who could fight. Look him up. Look up his video. Look up the footage. If you don't know the name, that's cool. But before you say, well, Ricky Burns is a nobody, look him up. YouTube highlights or videos of Ricky Burns. And see why his record was 36-2 when Crawford faced him. Check this out. Right after Ricky Burns, it was Yuriorkis Gamboa, who at the time was 23-0. Now, this is Gamboa in his prime, undefeated, and looking to get this is his first title shot. He's like the young, hungry lion coming in. I'm going to become a world champion. We saw how that fight played out. Very competitive. Gamboa, at one moment, buzzed Crawford, and people been holding on to that for 10 years. But Terence Crawford got a top-notch quality win over an undefeated, young, hungry Cuban fighter. Oh, but Gamboa's a nobody when you don't like Crawford, right? Right after that, Raimundo Beltran, who was 29-6. Good fighter. I'm not going to put him with Gamboa. Good fighter, right? I'm going to put him with Gamboa. But no bum. He's not a bum. Beltran was 29-6. Not a bum. Watch this. Thomas DeLorme was 22-1 at the time. Real good fighter. Watch this. Thierry Jean, I don't know a lot about him. I'll say average. Even though Thierry Jean was 29-1, I'll say average because I don't really know anybody that he beat. Henry Lundy, 26-5. Another good fighter. Victor Postol, at the time, was 28-0. Real good fighter. John Molina, another real good fighter, 29-6. And then watch this. Superman. Gamboa was a champion in the lower division. All those good fighters. Watch this. Watch this. Check this out. After John Molina, Crawford faced Felix Diaz. My peoples, if you don't know Felix Diaz, before you say he a nobody, this dude is an Olympic gold medalist and a former world champion who only had one loss in his resume. So with that one loss, this Olympic gold medalist went to fight Crawford with a chip on his shoulder, trying to regain a title, trying to become a champion again. So if you don't know Felix Diaz, go ahead and Google his ass. This guy can fight. Crawford beat him. Then came along Julius Ndango, 22-0. This is the African brother, world champion. Crawford disposed of him with a nasty body shot. I remember that fight like it was yesterday. Boom! Buddy went down with that shot. He was not getting up. Jeff Horn, coming off of a win over Manny Pacquiao. Some people argue it. Some people say he didn't win. He won. He beat Manny Pacquiao. You don't like it, that's what happened. It was close. It was competitive. He beat him. If you don't like it, cool, but he beat him. Jeff Horn was 18-0 when Terence Crawford made his debut at the welterweight division and stopped him. Right after that, Jose Benavidez Jr. Oh, Crawford don't get no credit. He was 27-0 at the time. Oh, he only had one leg. Watch this. Right after that, Amir Khan, 33-4, stopped him with a body shot. He a nobody? Amir Khan is a nobody? Cool story. Kavaliuskas was 21-0 when he fought Crawford. Undefeated fighter. Undefeated fighter. And you saw the type of fight he gave Crawford. Good fighter. Crawford beat him. Nobody's going to say that Mean Machine is a bum. Kell Brook, 39-2. Kell Brook only had lost to Triple G and Errol Spence. Terence Crawford stopped him. He a nobody? Kell Brook is a nobody? Okay, cool story. Right after Kell Brook, Sean Porter, who was 31-3. Sean Porter only lost to Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, and who else? I can't remember right now. Was it Adrian Broner that beat him too? I can't remember right now. Keith Thurman. Porter only had 3 losses in his resume. And Crawford is the only fighter to ever stop him. Then he fought David Avanesian, who at the time was 29-3, beat him and went straight to Errol Spence, who he stopped. After stopping Errol Spence, he moved up to the 154 division, beat Madrimov. Now jumped up 2 divisions, beat Canelo Alvarez. Somehow this guy did all that. He ain't beat nobody. And everybody he beat, there was something wrong. Putting together a Hall of Fame resume, my peoples. That's what you see Terence Crawford doing. A Hall of Fame resume. So everybody who was saying that, you know, Crawford was going to get knocked out, Crawford was going to go to sleep, Canelo was going to make it look easy, that's what you got. That's what you got right there. That's how easy. That's how easy Canelo made it look. Look. Did that look easy to you? Did that look easy? Oh, Crawford is too little. Canelo is too big. He's gonna knock him out and make it look easy. Yeah, you think that was easy? So, ever since that fight, there's people that I haven't even seen on social media. Haven't even seen them. How you was over here in the comment section every day for 3 months talking about Canelo's gonna knock him out. I'ma see you, Jay. I'm gonna come see you. I'm like, I got it. You gonna come see me? My peoples, they didn't come see me. They didn't come see me, my peoples. Left me waiting. But I digress. That's the reason why it's easy. I feel comfortable. Listen, my people. Listen. I feel comfortable with telling you that Terence Crawford is the face of boxing. I could stand on that. That's easy work for me. No, anybody could tell me disagree. That's okay. You don't have to agree with your boy. All I'm saying is that I have an argument to make as to why he's the face of boxing. And it's going to be very hard to argue against it. Now, going forward, we're going to see how things develop. Let's gauge the interest in Terrence Crawford going forward. And you'll see what I'm talking about. That's all we got to do. And then, it's the same thing with Shakur Stevenson. You guys seen what was the narrative when he was going to fight Zepeda? Oh, he got brittle hands. Oh, Zepeda's going to do him in. Shakur Stevenson hands. It's too brittle. Zepeda's going to apply the pressure. Zepeda's going to put the beats on him. I had people telling me Zepeda was going to knock Shakur out. And how did that? Hold on, man. Hold on. So Zepeda was going to knock Shakur out. I don't know if there's anybody in here who told me that. But so Zepeda was going to knock Shakur out. Tell me more about that. That's what I was told on that morning's episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Shakur hands is brittle, and Zepeda was going to knock him out. He was not going to be able to handle the aggression. Y'all remember the narrative about how Shakur was going to run the whole fight? He was going to be running, and Zepeda was going to apply pressure and beat him up. That was the narrative. Tell me if I'm lying now. Corey B, what's your opinion on Pacquiao versus Rollies? Ooh. Now you hit me with, you threw a curveball at me. Well, I'm going to tell you something. The way that I saw Manny Pacquiao fighting Mario Barrios, I think that he could beat Rollies. Rollies is going to have to knock him out to win that fight. If Rollies can time him coming in and catch him with a counter like Marquez caught him with when he slept him, he'll go to sleep again. You know, Rollies, I believe, has the power to knock him out. I don't think he got the skill set to outbox him. I don't think Rollies is going to be able to win that fight on points. I just don't see it. And by the way, I was watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Salute to my brother Blue. Bam. And I saw something about Teofimo Lopez potentially pulling out of that fight with Shakur Stevenson. Like, they're talking, and it seems like he might back out of that. I hope that doesn't happen. I would be really disappointed in Teofimo. It's like, damn, bro. You know, you couldn't make the fight with Jerron Boots Ennis. You couldn't make the fight with Devin Haney. You're not going to make it with Shakur either? Come on now. Vision Omega, Shakur versus Zepeda look like Floyd versus Cotto. That's a good comparison. That's actually a good comparison. Shakur Stevenson was out there looking like Floyd. Let's keep it 100. Shakur Stevenson was out there looking like Floyd Mayweather, y'all. Braño Romero. Dios te bendiga, mi hermano. Listening to you driving on my way to work. Dios te bendiga, hermanito mío. I appreciate you tuning in, my brother. Yeah, y'all already know what it is, man. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning, y'all. Give me a second. I'm grabbing my breakfast. So if you're about to eat yours, handle business. Give me a second, my people. Let me grab my breakfast. Literally. Can't hold me. Can't hold me back for that, my people. This is Boxing for Breakfast after all, right? Check this out, y'all. I'm rocking with the sweet I'm rocking with the sweet potato out here. Hold on, man. Let me put y'all on with what's going on out here. Oh, my peoples. That's how I'm doing it this morning. So, listen, when Shakur Stevenson was going to fight William Zepeda, I already knew he was going to dominate that fight. I already knew he was going to be out there looking like Floyd Mayweather. So I wasn't surprised to see it. But that's why I circled back to all the people who said, Shakur's going to be running all night. The brittle hands. He's not going to be able to handle the pressure. Oh, that's how you feel, homie? That's how you feeling about that? My people, salute. And what did we learn from Shakur versus Zepeda? We learned, well, I already knew it, but some of you learned it. That Shakur can either outbox you in a football field, or he can beat your ass inside of a phone booth. Either way, he could do it. He just doesn't have to. Why am I gonna stand there trading with guys when I could dance around them and outbox them and fly around like a butterfly and stinging them like a bee? I don't understand that. I know you want to see Shakur get hit. You want to see him get hurt. The guy's the best defensive fighter of this era. It's going to be tough for somebody to hurt him. That's something that people just going to have to accept. But guess what? That's why Shakur is turning into the new generation Floyd Mayweather. Because it's at that point where people are tuning in, hoping to watch him lose. He got to that status already. People want to see Shakur lose. They want to see him get hurt. And you could see that projection when he was going to fight William Zepeda. How people kept saying that he was going to get knocked out, that he was going to get really hurt, that he wasn't going to be able to handle the pressure. Imagine if you say all that and you watch the opposite take place on fight night. No running from Shakur, trading leather at point blank range, and making it look easy versus a fighter of Zepeda's caliber. Made him look average. Because what you need to understand, it take a real special fighter to take somebody like Zepeda and make him look average. Like, if Zepeda lose again, the next time he lose again, it'll be a close, tough, competitive fight. It wasn't that versus Shakur. He couldn't make it competitive at no point in time. My people, to those of you who just tuned in, welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Y'all know what we doing out here. That's your boy right there, William Zepeda. You know, being too rough on Shakur like y'all said he would. So, if you thought, and here's the magic question. If you thought that Zepeda was going to beat Shakur up, if you said that Shakur was not going to be able to handle the pressure that Zepeda was going to bring, then shouldn't you be giving Shakur Stevenson credit for putting together that type of performance against the same guy you said was going to beat him? Shouldn't you be saying, whoa, Shakur is him? I really thought Zepeda had it. And for Shakur to do him like that, man, he got to be him. Oh, no. Instead, you went into, well, Zepeda, he's good, but he's not really all that. He's good, but he's not all that. So I say to you, my peoples, remember that Jay Stradamus told you this. I want you to keep this in mind. Terrence Crawford is locked in for that #1 pound-for-pound spot. There's nobody that could take it from him. Because there's no other fighter out there who's gonna take a fight of that magnitude and win. Who do you know out there that's trying to jump up 2 divisions? Who do you know out there that's trying to do that type of achievement? So that's it. Terrence Crawford, nobody's gonna be able to take the #1 pound-for-pound spot in the world from him. Remember that I told you this. So who's gonna be the next #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world? After Terrence Crawford, finally give up that spot, because Terrence Crawford won't be #1 in the world when he retires. That's it. Or somebody beat him. If you think somebody's gonna beat him, that's different. Mike Will, Floyd coming back. Stop playing with me, bro. Stop playing. I know that idea's been floated around, but even Floyd himself has said in the past multiple times, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back. I know that maybe there's some type of bag that could make him come back, but he's not going to come back against no Crawford or no crazy. He could come back against Pacquiao. That he could do. Come back against someone, in my opinion, if Floyd comes back, it should be against someone closer to his age group. Can't come back against someone that's going to be a bunch of years younger than him. Young Guns, Inoue beats Junto Nakatani and Nick Boy at 126. I think he'll pass Bud and Usyk on the pound-for-pound. Listen, Inoue has no chance. No chance of passing Crawford, bro. None. Remember, Young Guns, you said that Canelo was going to knock him out and even make it look easy. So, of course, you're going to find somebody else that you think is going to replace him at the #1 spot. But Junto Nakatani, bro, top-notch fighter, is never going to be nowhere near the league of Canelo Alvarez. And Nick Ball, come on, bro. Nick Ball can fight. Never going to be. These guys themselves are not in the pound-for-pound list. Nick Ball is not in the pound-for-pound. So, you're overvaluing those wins when compared to what Crawford did. Way too much. And I'm going to tell you something. Remember that I told you, you want to go against Jay Stradamus, have at it, my boy. But remember what I told you. Terrence Crawford is going to hold that #1 pound-for-pound spot until he's done. If he fights 2 or 3 more fights, he's going to keep that spot. If he stays in boxing for 2 more years, the whole time he's going to keep that spot. There's going to be no taking it from him, my guy. It's done. Forget about who you think can take it by beating who. It's not happening. Junto Nakatani and Nick Ball, those are great wins. But there's levels, my G. Those are not Canelo Alvarez, Errol Spence type of wins. Forget it. They're in a different stratosphere right now. Young Guns, Usyk is kind of stuck. He doesn't really have anybody to elevate in pound for pound. No, I think, look, we have to take everything into consideration. Usyk is a guy who was undisputed in the previous division, then became undisputed again. Now he's became undisputed multiple times because they took it from him. So you have to take everything into consideration. And Usyk is beating, top level opposition consistently. So, but he doesn't have an opponent that's gonna give him that type. You know how Usyk could get that type of win? If 3 years from now, 4 years from now, Moses Itauma got 2-3 belts, and Usyk go fight the young lion. Something like that would be like, whoa. But right now, yo, nobody can get a win that will take Crawford off of that #1 spot. There's nobody out there. That's why Young Guns, notice you mentioned 2 wins. You was like, oh no, because he's going to beat this guy and that guy. But what do you think Crawford is going to be doing while he beats those guys? Sitting around watching TV, my G? You don't know who Crawford is going to beat. Who is Crawford going to beat while he beat those guys? Young Guns, Moses was just mandated by WBA to fight Pulev. Look, that's going to put Moses Itauma and his team in a lot of pressure. And I'm going to tell you what, as a matter of fact, if I was Frank Warren, I would duck that fight. I'd duck. And I'm going to tell you what, I would duck. So, Itauma is 20 years old right now. So obviously they're in a development process with him, right? If you put him to grab a title, that's going to put a lot more pressure on him. Because now, inside of this development process, I'm going to have to fight the top level guys. That's it. Once you become a world champion, you're fighting top level guys. What people don't understand is that just because someone isn't a big star doesn't mean that they can't fight. You're fighting a lot of guys who can fight. So that makes it a lot tougher road for him if he becomes a champion early. Young Guns, that fight sucks, Jay Smith. I mean, look, like I said, I don't think Itauma even needs that type of pressure on him at 20 years old. I think they could wait even 2 more years before they have him chasing the title. Let him get a few more easy wins, a few highlight reels, and then go for it. But I think when you're that young, and they step you up, and this has happened a lot. They take a fighter like that, they have him chase a title at 20, 21. By the time they 25, 26, they already burned out. Some are washed. By the time they 30, they washed. Why? Because they've been fighting already for 19 years with champions, former champions, top level opposition. So even though they've been winning a lot, but they've been taking a lot of punishment in that route. So you can have a good career, but by the time you're 30, you're cooked. So I think it's a process, and I think trainers, promoters, everybody should be on board with that development process, as opposed to throwing you out there to the lions because you're looking good. If you develop, it's going to pay off in the end. It's going to pay off in the long run. Itauma has the potential to accomplish a lot. He has the size, the power, the footwork, the ring IQ. This guy can fight. This guy can fight. But I said at 20 years old, he needs a little bit more experience. Don't just throw him out there. The Hydro Grind, good morning, my peoples. Oh, let's get this healthy dosage of boxing for breakfast. You know what it is, man. You know what it is. Healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Young Guns, I personally like when guys fight the best early if they have shown they are the goods. But you have to think about it, Young Guns. 23, 24 is still early. Look, Boots is only 28 years old. So 23, 24, look at Canelo Alvarez. He fought Floyd at 23, and people say he was too young at 23. So at 20, damn. But I'm just going off of what I've seen happen to a lot of fighters. They step up too young, and their careers cut short because you're competing at a high level at such a young age that your mileage is different. Like, let me give you an example, Young Guns. Let's say me and you turn pro at the same time. Young Guns and Jay Smith. We both turned pro at 18. In my case, my promoter has a 5-year plan to give me a title shot. So within that 5-year plan, the first 2 years, I'm fighting easy opponents, knocking almost everybody out the first 2 years. And then year number 3, they start stepping me up in competition. Now I'm fighting ranked opponents so that I could be ready that in year 5, I'm going to position myself for a title shot, right? Your promoters, because you're so talented, their plan is a 2-year plan. So by the time you're 20, you're going to get a title shot and you're going to become a world champion. You have that type of talent, right? Remember, we the same age. We turn pro the same day on our 18th birthday. But there's a 5-year plan for me. There's a 2-year plan for you. We both just as talented. Now check it. You become a champion at 20 years old, but I got a 5-year plan. So I'm not going to become a champion till 23, right? So at 20 years old, when you become a champion, you put 2 title defenses at 20 years old. At 22, you put 3 title defenses. At 24, you defend, maybe you lose, maybe not. And at 25, I become a world champion. Or at 23, I become a world champion. So you've been getting all these fights, and you've been raising your name and your profile, but you're getting a lot of mileage at a young age. At 23, I'm fresh. Now I get my title. Now I win my first title. So what I want you to see is the difference between that road that you already traveled at such a young age and me who just became a champion. I'm going to be fresh and I'm going to be going into my physical prime as a champion. You might not even make it into your physical prime without taking a loss because you mad young and you're already fighting the best out there. So that's the reason why it's never a good idea to become a world champion at 20 years old, 21. I mean, you could do it. But going forward, you're going to travel a very tough road if you become a champion at a young age. For you to do that, you have to be special. You know who can do that? Abdullah Mason. But he's special. Who else can do that? Xander Sayers. He's special. But everybody can't grab a title. I know 2021. You might lose that thing, your first defense, you might lose it and never grab a title again, getting beat up out there. So the development process is something that in boxing you have to respect or you pay the price down the line. Underrated Will, salute my brother. Bam! You already know what it is. We talking boxing, my G. And by the way, to the people who told me that William Zepeda was going to apply too much pressure, he was going to be too much, Shakur Stevenson got the brittle hands. So my people who told me that William Zepeda was going to knock Shakur out. What do you have to say to me now? What say you? I try to tell you. I try to tell you. My people, salute to everybody tuning in to this brand new episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Listen, my people. So far, nobody has made a good argument as to why Terence Crawford is not the face of boxing. Therefore, it's easy for me to stand on it. Terence Crawford is the face of boxing, my people. I can't back away. Can't back down from the truth. Some people, look, if you spent a long time saying that Canelo was going to knock Crawford out, I understand if you cannot handle the truth at this point. A lot of people can't handle the truth at this point. I understand you. If I thought Canelo was going to make it look easy, and then he get made to look like this, I would be on denial too. I would be finding ways to figure out what the hell just happened. This can't be real. Some people are still shell-shocked. Let me see, how long ago was the fight? A month ago already? Yeah, it was a month ago. It was a month ago that Bud Crawford put the Swiss, the Dre, and the Apple beats on Canelo Alvarez. And people still shell-shocked. People are still shell-shocked over this fight. But I say to you, whether or not it played out the way you expected it or the way you wanted it to, that's it. It's time to say Crawford is the guy. It's already, if you think about the narrative, you know, the David and Goliath kind of thing that we had going on with the, you know how many times I was told there's weight classes for a reason? I can't tell you. Right here on Boxing for Breakfast, how many times was I told that there's weight classes for a reason, thus Terence Crawford was going to get knocked out? Listen, there's people who used to hit me up privately all the time. They would watch the show. They would watch me say that Terence Crawford is going to beat Canelo by unanimous decision. And they would hit me up privately to tell me that, you know, they thought I knew boxing, but I don't know boxing, because if I did, I would already know that Canelo is going to knock Crawford out. So I don't know what I'm talking about. And this was the narrative for 3 months. 3 months. Telling me about how Canelo's even going to make it look easy. And we see how that played out. Giovanni Walker. What's up, Jay Smith? Salute, my brother. Bam. We talking boxing. You know, doing what we tend to do. And by the way, Erislandy, Lara, and Janibek, that's going to be a very interesting fight, my peoples. That's going to be a very interesting fight. That is going to be a very interesting fight. And part of the reason why I'm looking forward to Janibek and Lara is because they're the 160 champions. They're going to be unifying. And it makes me wonder, is Terence Crawford going to move down to 160 and fight the winner? Or maybe go against Carlos Adames, who's a world champion in the division, who he's familiar with because they sparred before. Y'all remember the viral video of Crawford and Adames going at it, trading leather. So, is it possible? Is that a possibility that Crawford and Adames fight each other? That would be something, wouldn't it? What? And I'm going to tell you what would be my dream fight right now. My dream fight would be for Terence Crawford. I'm coming, Ryan. For Terence Crawford to fight. Okay, I'm already done. My dream fight would be for Terence Crawford to fight Carlos Adames here in the Dominican Republic. That would be my dream fight. For him to come challenge for that title here. That would be crazy. That's the one thing, man, in Dominican Republic we don't get. We don't get these big fights. Or it's been a very long time, I guess, since we got championship fights. But I think Carlos Adames will be fighting his next fight here in the Dominican Republic. And if that's the case, I'm going to see if I could be there. Definitely want to support El Caballo Bronco. But, man, can you imagine that Terence Crawford, Carlos Adames fighting each other here in the Dominican Republic? That would be insane. But I know, I'm just saying that's my personal wish. I don't expect it to happen. And I don't know what's next for Crawford. I don't know if he's going to move down. I don't know if he's going to move down to the 160 division. But, honestly, I believe that he'll be keeping an eye on Janibek. On Janibek versus Lara. I believe he'll be keeping an eye on that fight. And maybe even making a decision based on the outcome of that one. You got to understand, once you unify titles with Lara and Janibek in the 160 division, you have a shorter path to Undisputed if you're Terence Crawford. If you decided that you wanted to pursue Undisputed in another division, which would be insane, seeing two fighters unify at 160 shows you that the path is open. And I'll remind you guys, Bomac did say give me a hug, come on. Bomac did say that to him Crawford has 2 or 3 fights left in him. I love you.
I love you.
I love you more.
Papá, ¿por qué tú estás trabajando?
I'm talking to the people. We talking about boxing. We talking about, they don't understand that Terence Crawford is the face of boxing.
Okay.
I know, but I'm trying to tell them. Look, even he knows Terence Crawford is the face of boxing. Giovanni's Walker, hit the like button. Hell yeah, man. The hybrid grind. Feel bad that Adames is being left out. Janibek refuses the contract and went for Lara. I mean, that's the thing, man. Carlos Adames, he's a dangerous fighter. And a lot of people don't want to fight him. That's just the reality. People don't want to fight him. But when you have a Terence Crawford, or not just Crawford, anyone who aims or wishes to shoot for Undisputed at 160, you're going to have to see Adames. As simple as that. You cannot become... That's like what Terence Crawford did to Errol Spence at 147. They didn't want to fight him. They did not want to fight Terence Crawford. He forced the action. Once he grabbed that belt, he held on to it, and Spence had no choice. The only way that you could become undisputed is by beating Terrence Bud Crawford. Look at that. So he forced the action. Carlos Adames, he doing the same thing. He forced an action. He like, I got this strap right here. You saw he forced Shiraz, and damn, man, that's crazy. Carlos Adames and Shiraz, if you saw that fight, y'all know how that thing played out. You know how that thing played out. The Hydro Grind, I wanted to see him unify. Look, man, as of right now, mic check, my people. Tell me if you can hear me. Mic check, mic check. Let me know if you can hear me, my peoples. I want to make sure. Mic check. Can you hear me, my people? Put it in the chat. I don't know if you guys can hear me right now. Hold on, Ryan. Give me a second. Give me a second, Ryan. I'm trying to see if my peoples, can you hear me? Oh, Superman said they could hear me. Ryan, Superman said they could hear me. You're Green Ranger. Salute. Bam. So look, I'm interested. This is part of the reason why I'm interested in Erislandy's Lara and Janibek, because I want to see, is this going to be a deciding factor for Terrence Crawford? Is he going to say, you know what? Now one person has two of the titles, and it's Carlos Adames. He got the other title. Who has, is the other one vacant? Who has the other title in the division? We have Janibek. We have Lara. We have Carlos Adames. Who has the other title? Chat, if you could check that out for me. But it seems like 160 has a path to undisputed that Terrence Crawford can explore. That's why. But we don't know what the face of boxing is going to do, my people. We don't know. Okay? And when I'm talking to you about the face of boxing, Canelo Alvarez, my people, is the former face of boxing. He used to be the face of boxing, my peoples. Okay? I respect Canelo. I got love for Canelo Alvarez. I support Canelo Alvarez. Viva Mexico, my peoples. I salute my Mexican brothers. Love my carne asada, my tacos, burritos, enchiladas, all of it. But Canelo Alvarez is not the face of boxing anymore. Corey B, Canelo had a great run. You're right. Canelo had a great run, an amazing run. After he lost to Floyd Mayweather, he moved up levels. Losing to Floyd was like the best thing for him. Because if you followed Canelo prior to Floyd Mayweather, he didn't have that head movement. He didn't have that waist movement. He didn't have no angles. He realized, when I step in the ring with a guy like this, I'm going to get cooked. I'm going to get cooked. So losing to Floyd Mayweather, that was actually a blessing for Canelo Alvarez, because he was able to elevate his game. And look at the run that he had. Look how many champions he beat, how many Hall of Famers. Canelo Alvarez, yo, I don't know why people think because I had Crawford winning that I'm hating on Canelo. And they don't understand that I got mad respect for Canelo Alvarez. Terrence Crawford is the better fighter and beat him. Green Ranger, he held his own against Floyd. Yeah. I mean, Floyd beat him convincingly, but he was out there, he was trying, he was going forward, he was, he did his best. He was fighting. But Floyd outboxed him. Dimitri Bivol outboxed him. And Bud outboxed him. And what I was trying to tell people this whole time is that even though Canelo's a great fighter, he has shown to have problems with boxer punchers, with guys who use that footwork, guys who use that lateral movement. He's always shown that. Because he has 3 losses, right? He has those 3 losses. He has Floyd, Bud and Bivol. Took 3 L's so far, right? But look at his fight with Erislandy's Lara. There's people that'll argue till this day that Canelo lost that fight, that he got gifted that win. Till this day, some people will argue that with you. And if you watch the fight, there's a good argument to be made that the judges were favorable towards Canelo. But he took a lot of shots and he missed a lot versus Lara. So okay, he got the win. That's what the box recs show. He beat him. Cool. But he struggled in that fight. He took a lot of punches, missed a lot. At times seemed frustrated with the chasing and missing. Lara gave him some good work. Win, lose, or draw. Whether you agree with the decision or not, Lara gave him some good work. And then look at the fight right before Terrence Crawford. William School, something like that. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. But supposedly it's not Skull because it's in Spanish. But William School, Canelo couldn't cut the ring to save his life in that fight. Some people felt like Skull outboxed him. So you have a guy in Skull who is massive. Like the guy takes up half the ring with his size. And Canelo couldn't catch up to him. This guy's huge. Dancing circles around Canelo Alvarez. Pop, pop, pop. Pop, pop. Pop, pop. Canelo spent 12 rounds chasing this dude around. There was nothing he could do. So when he step in there with somebody who has that elite level footwork and that reach advantage and them skills, it's going to be problematic for him. There's a certain type of fighter. Look, I'm going to put it to you guys like this. Canelo Alvarez, he needs his opponents to cooperate. That's what he needs. Now, when I tell you that he needs his opponents to cooperate, let me clarify that for you. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Dang. Hold on, my people. Hot as hell, thing. Canelo Alvarez needs his opponents to cooperate with him. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. What Canelo needs is opponents that are going to stand there and bang with him. He needs opponents that are going to try to outgun him. That's what he needs so that he can look good. Because now if you try to outgun him, he has the skills, he has the firepower to trade with you, but he also has the skills to win those exchanges and hurt you, which he often does. Superman, a slugfest. There you have it. Canelo needs opponents to cooperate because he needs somebody that's going to stand there and say, come on, I'm going to bang with you. I'm going to try to take you out. But if he has an opponent who's not going to fall into that trap, who's going to box him, he's going to have problems. If that opponent has a substantial reach advantage on him, and it's a good boxer, he's going to have problems. And he's shown it. William Skull, if you watch William Skull, Canelo could not cut the ring for the life of him. Couldn't do it. He could not do it. That's why, to me, it was predictable. What Terrence Crawford did to him, I predicted it. Exactly how it played out. So when I tell you it was predictable, it's not like I'm making it up. I specifically said how this fight was going to play out from round number 1 to round number 12. And as a matter of fact, since today is Thursday, I'm going to post that throwback video. When Crawford beat Madrimov, I say he should go after Canelo. And people rained on me, y'all. That fight could never happen. There's weight classes for a reason. That fight doesn't make no sense. I wouldn't even want to see it. Crawford is only going up for a payday. He knows he's gonna get knocked out. Word? That's how you feel about it, son? All that confidence people have, all that confidence that Canelo Alvarez was going to knock Crawford out, yet they didn't keep the same energy to give Crawford his flowers. You was dying to say, look, Crawford got knocked out. I told you, you don't know boxing. I know what's going to happen. You was dying to have the opportunity to say that. But think about it. How does Canelo Alvarez go from he's going to knock him out, he's going to knock him out, so, oh, well, you know, Canelo's not the same anymore. He's not the same anymore. I thought he was going to knock him out for 3 months. But now he's not the same. Now he's different. You're damn right he's different. Look at him. That's the face of boxing right there. Look. Right there. Look. You see? Look. You thought when y'all was telling me that Terrence Crawford was going to get knocked out, you thought I was going to be showing you this image? Let that sizzle in your spirit. That's a face of motherfucker love. I'm just trash talking my people. Y'all know I got love for Canelo Alvarez. I support him. But when you told me that Canelo was going to knock Crawford out and make it look easy, did you imagine that I will be showing you this picture a month after the fight? Look, look. Should've known went against me. I try to tell you. I try to tell you, my peoples. Green Ranger. I did what I could, my brother. I did my part. But all I'm trying to figure out is, where's all the people who told me that Canelo was going to knock Crawford out? Because I want to know your emotional state when you look at this. What is your emotional state? If you told me Canelo was going to knock Crawford out and make it look easy, what's your emotional state when you see this? That's all I'm saying. And then, yo, the people that told me, where's the people who told me that William Zepeda is going to apply that pressure on Shakur Stevenson? Shakur Stevenson got the brittle hands. Shakur Stevenson is going to get knocked out. Oh, word? That's how you feel about it, son? So William Zepeda was going to knock Shakur Stevenson out. Ay, ay, ay. Tigre tan de pinga. You really believe Zepeda was going to knock Shakur out? You really thought that was going to happen? No, que Shakur Stevenson, he can't handle the pressure, and he got the brittle hands, and he's going to run all night long. Look at Shakur Stevenson running. That's what Shakur Stevenson running looked like right there. Ask William Zapata if Shakur Stevenson was running. Vision Omega. Bro, these dudes talking about Buzz gloves were tampered with. His gloves look big. He just touched and ran all night. Canelo wasn't affected by Buzz power. His face ain't look like that versus before. Come on, bro. We so high. But it's what I was saying earlier. When you spend 3 months saying Canelo's gonna knock him out, Canelo's gonna make it look easy, Crawford is too little. If you spend 3 months saying that, how are you gonna feel when you have to watch this? My feelings will be hurt too. I would probably be shell-shocked and on denial too. Real talk, my people. I will be on denial like, nah, something is not right. I gotta figure something out. But salute to those who tuned in the following day and was like, yo, Jay, Crawford is a great fighter. I don't got nothing else to say. Yeah, I'm done. That's it. That's it. I'm done. After saying Porter was washed and Errol was no good and Khan was no good and nobody was no good, that's it, man. Some people finally accepted it. I had a few people tell me, that's it. He's the guy. He's the guy. That's it. Superman, that's what happens, bro. Real talk. They gotta retract or deflect. It's a lot easier to just get flowers. It's a lot easier to just say, yo, you know what? The guy's a great fighter. He got it. He got it. That's it. Why try to come up with something else? And I'm gonna tell you something. Some of you know that I was calling that fight live. Calling it live, right? So when the last round finished, we already knew who won the fight. So we waiting for the scorecards, but we know who's the winner, right? Yo, during the live, in the chat, they have not raised Crawford hands yet. When they announced him the winner, that the referee's going like this, there was already people in the chat. Fight people! Fight Benavides! You ducking boots! I was like, God damn! I ain't never seen no shit like this. They haven't even finished announcing Crawford the winner, bro. And they already flooding the chat talking about fight Benavides. You ducking boots? Somebody was saying fight Usyk. I was like, what's going on out here? Y'all not even gonna let the man bring his arm down and y'all already got the next one? Y'all gotta, yo, at some point I was waiting for somebody to say, he gotta fight Benavides, Usyk, and Beterbiev at the same time and knock all 3 of them out in the first round for him to be a real one. That's it. That's what I was waiting for, bro. Young Guns, celebrity Tom Cruise, watching Box Center. Well, I don't know if that's celebrity Tom Cruise, bro. There's a lot of Tom Cruises out there. But again, my people, how is it even possible that this dude haven't even brought his hand down like this? They just say, you the winner. And they already telling him who he got to fight next. And he's ducking this guy. And he's ducking that guy. I don't get it. I don't understand it. The hate for Terence Crawford, it's been there since he moved up to the welterweight division. But when Terence Crawford pummeled Errol Spence, the hate got crazy. You know, once he beat Errol, the hate got crazy. But now that he beat Canelo the way that he did it, now that he made Canelo look like this, now the hate is insane. Now people is upset. Now people are frustrated. And I get that, my people. I get it. If you said that Canelo was going to make it look easy, Canelo's going to knock him out, Terrence Crawford is too little, if you followed that whole narrative and then you had to watch this, of course you're going to be shell-shocked. It's not what you're expecting to see. You thought a month after the fight, you was going to watch Jay Smith showing you this image? You didn't expect that, right? Oh, you thought I was going to be showing you an image of Terrence Crawford getting pummeled. No, look. It wasn't Terrence Crawford. It was your mans in them. Your mans in them who got pummeled. Young Guns. Spence fans still mad about it. And those same fans dislike Shakur, Keisha because they're cool with him. Bro, the Errol Spence fans became Canelo fans. Errol Spence fans who hated Canelo for years became a Canelo fan when he was going to fight Terrence Crawford. The same people who was telling me, oh, the big fish is too big. He's going to knock Crawford out. They moved on and they were saying the same thing. Oh, now Canelo's too big. He's really going to knock him out. Shut your goofy ass up. Because that's the funny thing about it. How do you spend 3 months telling me that Canelo's going to knock him out, and then when this happens, you disappear? I can't find you. Where you at? Superman. Ha ha. And EJ got the accident and all. But who cares? Or Uga's fights. Oh, but Garcia and Uga. I'm telling you the excuses. Go ahead. Go ahead. So, you know, just like Superman said, the goofballery. 3 months. Canelo's too big. He's going to knock him out. Crawford is too little. He's not going to be able to handle the power. And then what? You have to look at this now. You have all that confidence, and now you got to look at this. I want you to tell me how you feeling about that. How your emotional state when you see that picture. That face only a mother could love right now. Look, look, look. And then the same thing, because the people who don't like Crawford don't like Shakur. So supposedly Shakur was going to get beat up by William Zepeda. He was going to get knocked out by William Zepeda. Y'all remember that? He got the brittle hands. Zepeda got the power. Well, it didn't quite work out for Zepeda the way you thought it would. AJ, Bakram said, I'm ready, Boots. Better not duck. I like that fight. Look, I named the guys that I feel are good fights for Boots. And that's Sebastian Fondora, Xander Sayas, Bakram Mortasaliev, and of course, Virgil Ortiz. I like all of those fights for Boots. And he already said it. He already said after his last fight, he's going for all the smoke. He's going for all the belts. He taking everything. Every team. Going after all. And by the way, I specifically asked Bozianis, what's next? And guess what he told me? It's supposed to be Virgil. We signed the contract. Bozy himself told me they signed the contract to fight Virgil next. So all Virgil has to do is get past Lubin. Do your thing, and I expect him to. I got mad respect for Lubin. I told people yesterday, but he's been in a lot of tough fights. He only got 2 losses, but they both was by stoppages, bad stoppages. And now he's 30 years old. He's still young. But the young, hungry lion is going to handle business. Got to keep it 100 with you, my people. The young, hungry lion is going to handle business. So hopefully, and my expectations are that we will get Jerome Boots Ennis versus Xander Sayas. Jerome Boots Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz early 2026. That's how I see it playing out. Virgil is going to get past Lubin. You could take that to the bank to get some pounds. He's going to get past Lubin. So that's it. For all the people who say Jerome Boots Ennis is a cherry picker and he ain't fighting nobody, he ain't. What you going to say when Virgil turns out to be next? What's going to be the next hate narrative on Boots? Vision Omega. Who's better win for Bud? A unified champ, Janibek or Lara? Is adding a Charlo worth it? I mean, those versus Charlo, that's a good fight. That's an interesting fight. People want to see that, especially Mel Charlo because they already have history. But I think a championship fight versus the winner of Janibek versus Lara is bigger because it gets him an accomplishment. Right now, neither of the Charlos are a world champion. Wes Dustin, peace, Jay Smith, peace, chat. Salute, my brother. Bam, you know how we do it, man. We talking boxing. We addressing the whole goofballery narrative around Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. And how people don't want to refuse to give them credit. The same way they refuse to give credit to Shakur Stevenson. It's almost like if you don't give credit to this guy, you can't give credit to that guy. Give me a second, my peoples. I'll be right back. Stay with me. Appreciate it, my brother. Bam. So, my peoples, why the hate for Shakur Stevenson and Terrence Crawford? These guys, he's winning. They accomplishing. Come on now. West us and Jay Smith, the family man, taking time out to make our morning interesting. Hit the like button. I appreciate it, my brother. Real talk. I'm, with you guys, doing my show, taking care of my son at the same time, giving him his breakfast and all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Because I got to tell you guys, Boxing for Breakfast would not be the show that it is without you guys. So I really do appreciate that you guys, I do this for you, but I also appreciate that you guys come through, show love. Some of you hit the like button, some of you don't, but you still tune in, so I appreciate it, man. As MAW in the building. Salute Jay in chat. Subscribe, share, smash that like button. Yo, I noticed that there's some people out there who've been sharing the live. Yo, bam. Anybody who share the live or share the short videos. I saw somebody posted a couple of stories on Instagram about this live. Like, yo, this is the hottest. I appreciate you. You know, even if I haven't hit you up and say thank you, you know, I want to say right now, make sure that you guys understand every time that somebody shares my content, not only I appreciate it because somebody else gets to see it, a new person gets to find out about Jay Smith, about Box Center, but it just shows me how much you support me. So that means a lot to me, you know. When you take one of these videos and you share it, that means a lot to me because you're saying, you know, you want to see me in these other places and these other platforms. So I appreciate you, my guys. Real talk. AJ, I'll never forget what that dude Backroom did to my boy Tim Tszyu. Man, listen. That was crazy. And look, Backroom Murtasaliev is the perfect example of what could be of a fighter that you don't know, of a fighter that we never really heard of. Think about this for a second. I want you to let this sizzle in your spirit. Before Backroom Murtasaliev fought Tim Tszyu, we had no clue who he was. If Tim Tszyu would have beat him, we would have just said, oh, that's another cherry that he beat. That's another cherry. And look what happened. This guy comes out of nowhere and gives Tim Tszyu the beating of a lifetime. An ass whooping. So, when you see an undefeated fighter that you don't know, that you never seen from somewhere in Europe or Africa or wherever, don't automatically assume that he's a nobody and he can't fight because we don't know him. And that's what Backroom Murtasaliev reminded us. That there's fighters out there that are really, really good, world caliber type skills. And we don't know them. And every once in a while, one of those guys will show up and shook up the world. I don't know anybody who was expecting Backroom to beat Tim Tszyu. I don't know anybody who was expecting that. But now we know who he is. And now we know what he does. We don't see a lot of people calling him out, right? There's not a lot of people out there. Jerome Boots Andis. Like, yeah, that guy, what's his name? Yeah, him. We're going to holler at him. So, again, now Boots is the new guy getting all the hate. He's the new guy getting all the hate. Okay. You want to hate on Jerome Boots Andis? Watch him take over the 154 division. And now as he take over 154, people going to have to find new hate narratives on him. MAW. AJ. Backroom is like the boogeyman at 154 at the moment. Yo, after he dished out that beating of Tim Tszyu, I haven't seen nobody really trying to get that belt from him. I haven't seen anybody trying to get that belt from him, my peoples. I haven't heard nobody, yo, I want to fight Backroom. But now we heard Jerome Boots Andis express interest. That guy, yeah, holla at him. So, with Boots moving up to 154 and already stating his interest and going after all the belts, it's inevitable. Unless Backroom loses somebody else, it's inevitable that we're going to get that fight. Love More Hinduism, the Tower Inferno. I'm going to tell you like this, man. Sebastian Fondora, he's the guy in the 154 division right now. It's his division. Real talk. So, Boots is going to have to, if he's saying he's going to take over, he's going to have to see Fondora. Unless Fondora loses to Keith Thurman. If Keith Thurman pull off the upset. Love More Hinduism, the Tower Inferno. He's the guy right now. He's the guy in the 154 division. He's the man. JJ said that's Jay Smith. I'm here. Hit the like button, everyone. No doubt. Appreciate it, my G. Love More Hinduism. Facts. MAW. Janibek versus Lara. Middleweight. Unification should be fire. That's going to be a real good fight. Real competitive. I haven't made a prediction yet. I will. I just want to point out, man. That fight makes me think that Terrence Crawford is going to be tuning in. And he's going to be watching. And I think there's a possibility he may go down to 160. Either challenge one of these guys or go after one of the other champions to then head on over to the Unify champ. West does it. I'm crazy curious about the Thurman Fondora fight. I think it's going to be a lot more competitive than people are suggesting. Keith Thurman is not to be disrespected, my peoples. Y'all got to remember, Keith got one loss, and that's to Manny Pacquiao, one of the greatest fighters of this generation, one of the greatest fighters ever. That's who gave Keith Thurman his 1L. That's the first thing you got to consider. One loss. That's all he got. So people acting like Keith Thurman is washed up or he's done. It's nah. Did you see his last fight? Yeah, he didn't fight a world champion, but he looked good. Fast, sharp, footwork was on point, strong, stopped his opponent brutally. Come on now. Come on now. Keith one-time Thurman still got them skills and still got the physical assets to handle business. So don't sleep on him. He's going to be the faster guy in the ring. His challenge is going to be to try to get inside on Fondora. Because Sebastian Fondora has developed that jab that you're going to have to take some punishment to get on the inside. There's no freebies with Fondora anymore. Remember Fondora used to always fight on the inside? Phone booth. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, 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 bam. That's the type of fight you saw from Fondora before. Not anymore. You seen that jab? Bam, bam, bam. You seen the jab, the long jab, and the 1-2, bam. Punching you in the face from damn near across the ring. So Keith Thurman is going to have, his work cut out for him to get on the inside and do what he does. JJ said that I think Boots has a good chance to unify. I agree with you. In fact, Boots is the guy that I think has the best chance to beat Fondora. West Dustin, most experienced in the division. MAW. Lara went from 54 mobile boxer to 160 trap-setting boxer puncher. Slowed with age, but adjusted correctly. In my humble opinion, I agree with you. You see, because age eventually is going to take your legs away. That's just the inevitable. So you're not going to be, I think Lara's 40 years old already. You're not going to be 40 years old and be on your toes and be talking about that. That's not going to happen, bro. So you're either going to start taking a lot of punishment because your footwork is not there, or you're going to be able to adapt to now you can fight at that close mid-range, make them miss, make them pay, but not quite close that gap because he's going to be giving the speed advantage in a lot of fights. So it's going to be about the mid-range, about outboxing. And Erislandy's Lara, you know, a Cuban boxer, has been able to adapt. Dan Hendo, yo, bro, salute, family. Bam! Young Guns. Keep being an older guy isn't this hard on his body. This long training camp. So I will say this, Young Guns, about Keith Thurman. If we think about his last fight, he had been inactive for almost 2 years. And he looked really good. You could tell he had a real good training camp. So something that we never really think about, inactivity means that you're supposed to be rusty, right? But if you have a good training camp, you might be good. You might look sharp, which Keith did. So that's the negative part about inactivity, right? That you could be rusty, you're wasting time. But you know what's a positive part about inactivity that people don't consider? When you've been inactive, you're not adding mileage to your body. You're not taking punches to the head. You're not taking punches to the body for a couple of years. So your body's healing differently. So when you come back off of inactivity, the only knock that you might have against you is the ring rust. But if you overcome the ring rust, your body's going to be a lot better than somebody who's been super active. So in a way, Keith Thurman, body-wise, he's fresh because of all that inactivity. AJ, did you hear about Gary Antoine Russell offering Keyshawn a title shot? Whoa, I did not hear about that. Did not hear about that, but I gotta say, I'd love to see that fight. I'd love to see it. I'm gonna be following up and see what's going on with that. JJ's in the house. If Fondora stays on the outside, he has a lot better chance of winning. And I think that's gonna be part of the game plan. Because Keith Thurman is gonna have the faster hands, and on the inside, I think he's gonna win a lot of those exchanges. I think he will. But I'm going to say something, AJ. I don't think that Keyshawn Davis should debut at 140 versus Gary Antoine Russell. I don't think he should do that. I think he should put in a fight first and then take him up on that offer. Young Guns. PBC put it on a banger card. Pitbull Cruz, Janibek, Lara, Fulton Foster, Ramos Jr. versus Mosley Jr. I can't wait. That's gonna be a banger. It's gonna be some real good fights. You know your boy Jay Smith is gonna be calling them. Young Guns, PBC trying to compete with turkey cards. Nah, they're not. Come on, man. You can't compete with 2-3 cards a year with these people who's doing cards almost every month, almost every other week. You can't compete with 1 or 2 cards, bro. I want you to think about this. Right now, we're in October. The year's almost over. How many cards the PBC had this entire year? Like 4? Something like that? You can't. They got to do more. But that is a top level card right there. We're going to get some serious action. I'm going to be calling those fights. Y'all know how I do it. Devastating blow, ladies and gentlemen. That was quite brutal. I'm going to be calling them. Your boy Jay Smith is going to be on it. Superman. PBC down bad. Yo, PBC right now. You're seeing PBC fighters fighting in other networks, fighting on other shows. Inactive, a lot of inactivity. Something's got to give, man. West does it. I wish the Russells would sign with a major promoter. They get frozen out. And you know, there was somebody who was actually on the live talking about that. And I tried to explain that to him. He was like, nah, because look, Crawford went on his own, and he made a lot of money. And I'm like, bro, you're talking about Terrence Crawford. You know, you're talking about the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. You're talking about the... But everybody cannot go independent in boxing, my peoples. Because if you go independent, who the hell's going to promote you? Who the hell's going to get you a fight? Nobody know your ass. And that happens in boxing. Where some fighters make the mistake of, yeah, I'm going to go independent. Yo, this shit ain't a rap label. This ain't a rap thing for you to be going independent. In boxing, you go independent if you're a superstar. Because now you don't need nobody. You're already a superstar. But guess what? You need one of the top promoters to become this big star. You ain't gonna do it on your own. You ain't gonna come off the amateurs and be independent and become a big name in boxing. Not gonna happen. So when people say, nah, because they did better after they left top rank, and they did better after they left this. It's not about what they did after. It's who made them a name. It's who opened the door so we could get to know them. So yes, you need a big promoter to build a big name in boxing. MAW. Is PBC getting anything off of Tank versus Jake Paul? That's a great question. I'm not sure. I would assume that they're getting some type of percentage because Tank has a deal in place with PBC. And the thing about that fight, that's a Jake Paul card. That's an MVP card. Tank Davis is the B-level fighter of this exhibition show. This is a Jake Paul versus Tank Davis exhibition. And the way that you know is look at all the posters. They have the MVP. You don't see the TGD anywhere. The Tank Davis, the Gervonta Tank Davis promotion, the logo, you don't see it nowhere. So I think basically he signed the contract to go do that exhibition on Jake Paul's platform. And maybe the PBC is getting a cut. But it's a possibility not, because it's not even a real fight. So I don't know what kind of deal he may have in place. AJ, Keyshawn beats him. Great fight. I mean, listen, Keyshawn Davis versus Gary Antoine Russell. That's a super fight, man. That's a great fight. Very competitive fight. It's hard for me to say who wins it. I can't even say nothing unless they agree to fight. Then I could come up with something. But, man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Jay is in the house. Exactly, Jay Smith. I have to have a big name, too, to that. See? Don't be a duck. Hit the like button. Damn, man. My peoples. Over an hour and a half, and we ain't even hit 30 likes. I'm over here dropping. Double tapping the screen takes a half a second. Pop, pop. And that's a like right there. Aroma sound. They most likely are because Al Heyman had to pay Lamar Roach for the breach of contract. So PBC has to get their cut if they had to get paid out. The reason I'm not sure if PBC has to get a cut is because this is not a real fight. This is not a sanctioned fight. It's an exhibition. So Tank may be able to do that exhibition on his own. MAW, Young Guns. That's not a nice PBC card. JJ's in there, has Jay Smith. Don't say it. Not going to be a real fight. Tank fans duck will get mad. I mean, is it going to be a real fight? It's an exhibition. They are telling us it's going to be a real fight. They're going to announce a winner. But come on, that thing is not going in the box rack. It's not a real fight. It's not sanctioned by any other sanctioning bodies. If they want to, right now, they could even have a script. Right now, if they want to, Jake Paul and Canelo Alvarez could even have a script saying how many punches each one is going to land, who's going to go down in what round, what distance is going to go. They could have a script if they want to. It's an exhibition. So I'm not sold on that fight. I know there's going to be the fan that's going to say, Tank is getting the bag, and I would do the same thing too. And we would all get the bag with Jake Paul. Like, people went from hating Jake Paul to being happy that Tank is getting the bag. That shit don't even make sense. Aroma Sound, there's no way Tank is fighting at 195. And it's a real fight. He barely wanted to fight at 140. Well, to be fair, I think that it could be a real fight because Jake Paul can't fight. You know, Jake Paul is a subpar boxer. And Tank Davis is a world caliber boxer. So he could really fight Jake Paul in a real fight. It's just that they won't sanction it. And he could beat Jake Paul ass in a real fight. So he can beat the top level guys in his division, or some of them maybe. But Jake Paul, he beat him up, bro. I promise you, he beat him up. JJ says it's going to be a legacy fight. Get the fuck out of here. I mean, that's it, Tank. He the face of exhibition shows. It's official. Taejon, will Tank come back after this? Maybe about 2 to 3 years from now? It's possible. Tank is only 30 years old. He could still come back at 32, 33 and have a 3-4 year run. He could do that, absolutely. And it's like, you think about it, man, nobody wants to see Tank Davis retired. Nobody wants to see him go from the sport of boxing. And especially we want to see him fight the top dogs. All them guys that he hasn't fought, we want to see him fight. Come on now. Who don't want to see Tank Davis fight Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez? He's going to be at 140 now. Go fight. Gary Antoine Russell is a PBC fighter. Tank Davis could fight Gary Antoine Russell. That's an easy fight to make. That fight is one phone call away. It's in-house. Call Al. Yo, Al, let's make this fight right quick. Done deal. JJ Sendejas. If Tank take care of his body, he can. That's what I'm saying. I believe that he can come back in a couple of years and still, you know, fight the guys that we want to see him fight. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is about. We want to see the best fight the best, and Tank is not giving us that. Taejon, Gary Antoine would kill Tank. But you got to see, Taejon, less than 15 minutes ago, somebody said Tank would do him in. So, that's a fight I'd like to see. Gary Antoine Russell, we know what he brings to the table. We know what Tank brings to the table. Make the fight. But no, Tank don't want to fight nobody. It's unfortunately, my people, but it's unfortunate, but Tank don't want to fight nobody. And nobody want to hold him accountable. Well, I hold him accountable. And you know why I hold him accountable? Because I know that Tank is a great fighter. I know that what he's able to do in the ring. But you're not fighting another. And let me just tell you this, my peoples. If Tank was to fight everybody, if he had that approach, I'm going to fight all the champions, he would probably retire with a record of like 40-1, you know, 39-2, 41-1. Like, yo, he would beat mostly everybody, and he wouldn't take a lot of losses. But he'd probably take a loss or two. He's going to lose to Shakur and maybe take another loss. He would still retire with a great resume and some great fights. But instead, he chooses not to, my people. That's crazy. That is crazy to me. Tank Davis has the potential to be the guy. And look where his mental state is at. And that's all Lamont Roach. He fought Lamont Roach, and shortly after that, he was like, nah, man, I'm not the face of boxing. I'm just a guy who boxes. That's it. What? Where's that swag? Where's that Tank Davis that was telling us I'm the face of boxing? Oh, you're not the face of boxing no more? Tough. But the face of boxing is Terrence Crawford. Kenny, you looking forward to the Dream Haney return? Oh my God. Am I looking forward to it? My brother. Listen, Devin Haney is a fighter who he's being disrespected because of what happened with Ryan Garcia. You know, people want to disregard the steroid allegations and all that stuff, and they just looking at what happened in the fight. And then they're saying, no, because look, he was running versus Jose Ramirez. He was running. Made it look easy versus Ramirez. And Devin Haney chose to fight Brian Norman Jr. next. The guy who has been brutally knocking out his opponents. That's who Devin said he wanted. So first of all, Devin is showing us. He's not just telling us, he's showing us. I'm about that action, my peoples. I'm about that smoke. And you're going to see that. I'm super excited about that fight. I think it's going to be real competitive. I haven't been able to make a prediction. I will, but I haven't been able to. But I'm excited, bro. It's going to be a great fight. Superman. Ha ha ha. The face returned, Jay Smith. I mean, the face of boxing is Terrence Crawford. Tajon. No, he's been disrespected because his last performance. Okay, so Tajon, I'm going to disagree with you, right? You're saying that Devin Haney's last performance was horrible. I'm going to disagree with you. I want you to at least hear me out and formulate an opinion based on what I'm about to tell you. Devin Haney fought Ryan Garcia, and he took a lot of punishment on that fight, right? He took a lot of hard punches to the head. Those left hooks that was landing flush. You saw Devin Haney take some nasty punishment, right? He lost that fight. But Ryan Garcia was accused of steroid use, and they overturned the decision. So now he has a no contest for that fight. But he did take a lot of punishment, right? Enter Jose Ramirez. Devin Haney fights him using the footwork. A lot of movement in the ring. A lot of jabbing. Took minimal punishment. You could have found it to be a boring fight, but he took minimal punishment and won with relative ease. So, while you're saying, well, Jay, that was horrible performance, I'm here to tell you that was actually a great performance from Devin Haney. Because if you took a lot of punishment in your last fight, the last thing you want to do is go 2 fights in a row taking a lot of punches to the head or getting dropped. That's how dudes end up punch drunk. That's how dudes end up stuttering, can't even talk right, taking all that punishment. So you saw Devin Haney protecting his faculties. That was a great fight. Jose Ramirez, the way that he fights, Devin Haney did the right thing. Because if you would have stood in there with Jose Ramirez, you could have got hurt, and the fight could have even played out differently. Jonas and Francis Ngannou in boxing. Nah, to be honest, look, much respect to the MMA guy, but they ain't never going to do nothing in boxing. They're going to come to boxing and get beat up. It's just that simple. Respect to them for, coming over to get that bag. You ain't going to beat nobody. Forget about that. AJ, Norman Jr. dropped butt in sparring. I mean, honestly, I don't know that. I've never even heard of that from anybody within their circle, so I don't know if that's just made up stuff. And in sparring, it really doesn't mean anything. Superman, yes. Zoo. Tajon, J. Smith. He looked scared in there. He wasn't even landing power punches. Jose Ramirez is the one punch fighter. But the point is that after taking the punishment that he took versus Ryan Garcia, you don't want to take some hard punches to the head in your following fight. Use your footwork, use your movement. Make it one of those nights. It's going to be boring for you, but for Devin Haney's health, that was a great fight. He was on some hit and not get hit. And he accomplished that. That's why every fight, you have to think about this, Tajon. Every fight cannot be entertaining, bro. You can't go to toe-to-toe with everybody. You can't make every fight a banger. Because look at Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis. Look at Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. So different styles require you to adapt to that style. Look at all the people who said that Canelo was going to knock Crawford out because look what Madrimov did. And I try to explain, come on, my peoples. Madrimov, Terence Crawford is not going to fight Madrimov the same way that he's fighting Canelo. He's not going to fight Canelo the same way he fought Madrimov. Styles make fights. Styles make fights, my peoples. Aroma Sound. Does he beat Lamar in the rematch, in your opinion? Honestly, Aroma Sound, I had Lamar Roach winning the rematch. I had Lamar Roach winning the rematch. Why? Because if you look at that first fight, it didn't go the distance because Lamar Roach was trying to survive. Or clinching excessively, or running, or... It went the distance because Lamar Roach was putting all type of hands on Tank Davis. And he should have won that fight. We all know it. Tank Davis got gifted that draw. And there's a reason why he walked away from the rematch. The reason he walked away from the rematch is not Jake Paul. It's not the bag. It's because they knew Lamar Roach was going to whoop that ass. That's why. Lamar Roach is a special fighter, my peoples. That's official. If you didn't know that Roach was special, I'm here to tell you he is. Tajon, I disagree, Jay Smith. I barely ever say this, but he was running scared. The thing about saying, bro, that he was running scared is that you don't know somebody's emotional state. So you say he was running scared, you can have that opinion. I didn't see that at all. I didn't see him running scared. I saw a guy that went in there with a game plan and executed to perfection. So, scared, I don't know how you're able to go into his frame of mind, my G. So I disagree with you on that. And you say Jose Ramirez straight trash. This guy's a former world champion. That's it. Like, I don't even know what... You've already taken the route that you're going to hate on Devin Haney opponents and discredit him. I don't know what to tell you, my guy. That's it. You already said it right there. JJ said that has Jay Smith. Can you please read my text? No doubt, my G. Let me find that. JJ said that has... Remember, we like to see Rock'em Sock'em robots, but boxing is called a sweet science. That's a fact. Boxing is called a sweet science for a reason. And Devin Haney displayed nothing but sweet science on Jose Ramirez. Former world champion Jose Ramirez, who only had one loss, may I add. Kenny, rooting for Norman. Atlanta, stand up. I ain't sleep on Haney, though. I gotta say, Kenny, Brian Norman Jr. is a special fighter, too. When you have that type of showdown with guys who are special on both ends, you really don't know what's going to happen. And this is the reason why I haven't been able to make a prediction. I haven't been able to. Superman, facts. Roach on timer. Yo, Roach timing was crazy. The way he was outboxing Tank on the inside, that was insane. Roach is the only guy that you're going to see counter-punching Tank's counter-punch. Tank will shoot the hard left, and Roach will be like, boom, boom. Like, what? Do you just counter-punch that? Roach is a special fighter, my peoples. Young Guns, does Roach stay at 140 or 135 after Pitbull fight, you think? Honestly, if he beats Pitbull, which I expect him to, that can open up the door for some title shots in the division. So I don't know. I think that can also depend on what Shakur does, because Shakur's supposed to fight Teofimo Lopez at 140, but it looks like Teo may back away from that fight. If Teo backs away and Shakur goes back down to 135 and offers Roach a title shot, I think Roach goes back down. He's gonna have options. Let's see what options become available once he put the beats on Pitbull Cruz. Aroma Sound, and he was settling up for the rematch, but Ryan lost. Devin Haney fought Jose Ramirez exactly the way that he was supposed to, my people. That's the way that he was supposed to fight that fight. You don't take a beating from Ryan Garcia and go straight into a slugfest for your very next fight. What, you trying to be punch drunk out there? You trying to get left that you can't even talk right? No. Devin Haney, look at the difference between wanting to be entertained and just assessing the action. When you want to be entertained, you're like, yo, Devin Haney was horrible. But when you're assessing the action, I'm like, yo, Devin Haney did an amazing job. He did a masterful job. He wasn't out there to entertain you. He wasn't out there to entertain me. He was out there to get the W and take the least damage possible. And he did that. Even made it look easy. So you have to respect it. My peoples, I'm about to end this show. But before I do, I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in this morning. JJ Sendejas, Aroma Sound, Young Blood, Superman. Yo, everybody else who tuned in, I really appreciate y'all, man. Y'all know what it is. AJ was in the building. Kenny, Jonah, and everybody else. Y'all know what it is, man. Wes Dustin was also in the building. MAW, straight up from Australia, was also in the building. Who else was in here, man? Young Guns, Vision Omega Bronzeman was also in the hizzy. Y'all know it, my peoples. I'm honored. It's a privilege that you guys decide to spend a portion of your morning hanging out with me, talking boxing with me. Trust me, my peoples. I don't take that for granted at all. That's why it could be 5 people up in here. It could be 20. It's been 100 and something. I'm shadow banned right now, so YouTube is holding the limit. They're not letting me go up. But it's cool, my people. The shadow ban is going to be over probably next month when the strike expires. But I want to say, guys, I really feel lucky that you guys decide to talk boxing with me every morning, Mondays through Fridays. Boxing for breakfast is something that people are looking forward to, but I'm looking forward to doing this for you. I want you to know that. Before I get the hell out of here, you know I have to give you the J. Stradamus words of the day, my people. We got to 29 likes, 2 hours, we should have got to 30, 40, 50 likes because I've been cooking for you guys. But it's all good. It's still all love. Let me give you the word of the day, my peoples. Are you ready for the word of the day from J. Stradamus? My peoples, I want you to understand something. Life keeps evolving. In all aspects, life keeps evolving, right? If you think about when you were a little kid, The cars were different. The way people dressed was different. The type of music that people listened to was different. Fashion in all aspects was different than what it is today, right? Things keep evolving. What I want you to understand, my peoples, is that our perspective, our point of view over time can also keep evolving. There's things that you thought was dumb 5 years ago that today you might look at it and be like, that kind of makes more sense to me now. Interesting. So I say to you, always be open to evolving yourself. Don't stay stuck. If you stay stuck, you're wasting your time. If you saw the movie Groundhog Day, where the same day repeats itself over and over and over, you're doing that. Don't stay stuck. You don't have to stay stuck. Now, if you're in love with every aspect of your life, you love everything about your life, then stay right there. Perfect. But anything that you don't like, that you would like to change, to fix, to move, you can do it. You don't have to stay stuck in one spot and doing the same thing over and over and over. And then I'm going to segue into this, my peoples. Age gracefully. And what do I mean by age gracefully? When you're a teenager up until 19, there's certain things that are acceptable because you're a kid, right? But then you get into your 20s, and little by little you start becoming more mature and understanding some things that you can't do anymore, right? Well, by the time you get to your 40s, you already had your teens as an experience, you already had your 20s as an experience, and then you had your 30s as a life experience, right? By the time you get to your 40s, you should not be in the club with the teenagers in a corner, because they're going to be looking at you like you're a weirdo. You might think you got the nice haircut, the nice little shape up. You know, there's people that be 50 years old, get a nice little cut, and be in the club in the corner, looking at the shorties and shit. Nah, bro, you washed up. Don't be in no club. It's cool one day a year, you go with your friend, But if you're in your 40s and above, you should not be in the club every weekend. Your ass is too old for that. You should be building something for your future. You should be preparing for that one day when you retire, you're going to have some. You're going to have something in your pockets. You're going to have something that is going to be bringing you a check. But if you're 40 years old and you clubbing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's all you do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You drinking, you getting high, you clubbing. That's it. That's all your weekends is like that. You're going to be cooked down the line. One day, if you make it to 70, you're going to be cooked. You didn't save no money. You didn't build nothing for yourself. Your brain cells is messed up. You ain't even talking right. So my people, by the time we get to 40 years old, we already gave our body and our brain a pounding. Start taking care of it. Take care of your body and take care of your future. Because when you get older, it's going to be tough if you can't do those things. There you have it, my peoples. That's the word of the day. Take care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your family. You can't take care of your loved ones. I have a son. He's 3 years old right now. I need to be in good shape to take care of him. I need to be in good shape if I want to go play basketball with him in a few years. If I want to play baseball with him. So take care of yourself so that you can take care of your family. Salute everybody. One love. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow. Next episode of Boxing for Breakfast, 6:30 in the morning on Friday. One love to everybody, man. I'm out of here.